Bastards. Today I want to talk about water. In this case, finding water or creating water during a disaster. I have here many ways to find water with stuff you can uh, buy from a web shop, or stuff you can find at home, or improvised ways to find and collect water. First of all, always keep some water in your house. Uh, even if the water's running, everything's fine. Always keep a stash of water in your house. I will show you my stash of water that I always keep. So just in an emergency, when the water outside is bad, because some of the many reasons that could happen. So always keep some fresh water inside. There we go. So first, um, very simple. Always keep some cash around. Yeah, it might sound stupid, but you can just buy water, even when a disaster is going on. It will perhaps cost some more, but there's still a possibility to buy water. So always have some cash on hand on your EDC or in your car, just even when you're out, so you have always the possibility to just buy water. Nothing wrong with it's just a possibility. Next, bleach. This is just like any household bleach. You can put some drops in water, filtered water by the way, without particles. Just a few drops. Calculate the right amount because too much can be very endangering for your insides. So when you try to use bleach to purify water, try to look up information about the right amount to put in a certain amount of water. Just an idea when there is a disaster with a few drops you can like bleach disinfect thousands of liters of water. So handy to know. Just look up for your own safety. Next, just a shamak or a piece of cloth like a towel or a bed towel. When there is no water around, you can go collect. What's the word? Down that gets on the grass in the morning. Dew. That's the word. Yeah. Sorry. You can collect the dew with just cloth. You dip it across the grass, takes up fresh water. You can drink it immediately. Just make sure there are no other particles to soil the water, like excrement of animals or anything else that could potentially be toxic. So that's another way to collect water. A silica key. This I talked about in my video about EDC bag. With this, you can open certain taps like pipelines, uh, taps in buildings, boilers. So you can tap off the remaining water that's still inside, even when the water is not running. There will always be a little amount you can collect. So it's very handy to keep one of these aside. Purification tablets. These are like actually little tablets that you put in a liter of water, let it soak in for 20 minutes, and it will kill, like they claim, 79% of the bacteria. Just wait a little bit longer for the safety. Look at the dates and look at the amount you can put in the amount of water. Inform yourself so no accidents can happen. Next, we have the live straw. I used this a few times during the hiking. It's very handy to drink directly water outside of a water source. You just open this side, You open above and you just drink right out of the source. It will not filter out viruses. Bacteria should be filtered for 99%, so haven't got sick yet, so probably works. Just be careful in places that could contain viruses, like a biological attack, or when you have water that doesn't run. So when an animal dies or shits in the river or a lake, and you're near it drinking it, you could possibly get some viruses. So be careful where you drink this. The only thing that I don't like about this is you have to drink directly from the source. You cannot put it in a container, but it's a good backup system. Right. This live straw is exactly the same, just a smaller model. Just works the same as a live straw, but you can put this on a bottle or on a pump, and you can pump it or drink it from a container directly. So that's what I like about this. With a little screw you put on a regular bottle. During my hikes, I always keep a Hiker Pro Catadin filter. You put this in the river, this in your container, and you just pump the water. Used to have used it a lot during my hikes. Always handy. You just have to be careful to uh, to know how much water you have used for when you have to change the filter in here, just to be safe. So that's a good pump, water filter pump investment, in my opinion. Next possibility, just collect rainwater, like not from the roof, but like open like a sail or a rain poncho. Collect directly water. Make sure birds don't excrement or touch the water that you collect. You can open it during a rain, close it, put it in a container, so the water is not contaminated. So a rain poncho is very handy with this. Just make sure you are out of the rain when you use this. All right. A copper kettle. I used this as a test during a 7-day trial where I closed off all the water around and in my house. What I would do is I put water inside of the copper kettle, let it sit a whole night, and by the next day the water was purified. How? Copper kills bacteria. So if you let the water inside sit in for 8 hours, it should be clean enough to drink. I would recommend to use this more as a backup, like when you have to wash your hands, or use it for other things than ingesting it, just to be safe. But in a case of emergency, you can use copper kettles to purify water if you are patient enough. So that's another way. This is an improvised filter. It's made with of a plastic bottle. I cut open. I put some holes in the other side. First, I put some activated charcoal, sand, stones, activated charcoal, sand, stones, activated charcoal, just so the most particles get filtered out, and the charcoal should take care of some remaining bacteria or viruses that are inside of it. The more charcoal layers you have, the more chance that bacteria don't get through. I wouldn't recommend this to rely on for potable water, but it's easy to make when you have activated charcoal in a hurry. So very handy. These are tablets to use. They use to clean pools. Chlorine tablets. Um, They are very strong, so be careful with how much you put in water that you want to filter. Uh, what I like about this, instead of the bleach, is the bleach have a certain expiration date. This you can use even years after, and it keeps dry. It doesn't evaporate. So that's what I like about these chlor tablets. Just be sure you don't put. You just put a little in the water you want to purify. Look it up. Ask professionals about the right amount. Be sure. Um, so that's another way. Another simple way is like with a little gas fire. Just boil the water. Boiling water is one of the most safest ways to get potable water. Even if it's a campfire, gas fire, electric stove, just boil the water for between 10, 15, even 20 minutes to be sure. That will kill every bacteria. Be sure it boils a long time, not a few minutes after you see the bubbles appear. Keep boiling just to be sure. The only downside is it takes energy, like electricity, wood, gas. If you have such enough, you can purify water while you cooking dinner or something. So that's another way you can get potable water. This is from my video on how to make alcohol. It's my distillate kettle. It's also a way to boil water, uh, actually vaporize the water. What's handy about this is you can take salt water, put in a kettle, vaporize it, and clean water will come out, and the salt stays behind. So if you are near the sea or have a river that has salt water, that's a way to get potable water without the salt. So that's another way. The last but not least is this. This is a Berkey water filter. In my opinion, one of the best uh, filters in the home that you can have. It, if I have the box here, I use this filter for about 4 years. I always put rainwater in it, and I never got sick from it. In the beginning, I was skeptical, but it's nice, fresh, clean, potable, cold water. Always in my house. You have to. If I can show you, there are two of these porous stones inside of the filter on the top. Well, these things, you put water above, rainwater in it. It will slowly go through thousands of micro holes inside of this porous stone filter. Then it will slowly drip in the second part downside here. You get around 4 liters of water every time. Takes around 2 hours till the whole thing fills up very quickly, in my opinion. Very efficient, and go in. And here are a list of the things it should purify. Like you can see, it's a a very long list, but it filters most things out. It filters pathogenics, bacteria, viruses, even the nasty ones, pharmaceutical drugs. So when they put chemicals or in the water to clean, or like the chemicals from the pills that get wasted through humans inside of the sewers, they cannot filter that out in regular water stations. So that's another pro about the Berkey water filter. Uh, it also does metals like copper, lead, other metals, and it also, to a certain extent, filter out radiological containments. So that's very good in when there is a nuclear accident. I don't say you put water from Chernobyl in it, but it will make the water safer to drink, even if it's rainwater short after an accident. I would recommend for such events just water that you keep in your cellar, but it's very handy. I'm very pleased with the Berkey water filter. It's not for, I don't get sponsored for this, but I'm very impressed by this thing. So, this is a little, to be honest, a fast going through ways to filter water. So I hope you learned something from this video. Give you any ideas. I hope it helped something. So bye. See you in the next video.